Hello, health heads. Welcome and thank you for checking into this very special dose of the healthcare uprising. As you can see, if you're watching us on video, we're in a little bit of a different format today. This is just going to be Heather and myself doing it a little different because Heather has had quite the week. She has had her own personal healthcare experience this week.
Yes, I have.
That we're going to talk about for this episode today.
Yep. So here we go.
So we haven't done one like this in a while.
No.
I interviewed you for something at some point. I don't remember.
It was the menopause roundtable.
Oh, there you go.
I think that was it.
That was it.
That was like healthcare related.
Yeah, and there were other people involved. So this is kind of a unique little thing we're doing today.
Yeah, I guess this is the first time.
Yeah, I was trying to think if I had ever actually just interviewed you before. I don't think it's happened.
Here it goes.
All right. So we're here for a first. But long story short, Heather's husband fell off a roof.
Yes.
That's the short story.
That's the short story.
We're going to talk about what happens when someone falls off a roof.
Yep.
But why don't you start? I'm not even going to get into it. I want you to tell me, because I haven't even really heard this story yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
of cool. How you, when this started for you. How did you find out it happened, and what was it for you that had to happen at that point?
Yeah. So I was working and just going on with my day. And Jake, and I should set this up a little bit. My husband owns a painting company here in Flagstaff. He's a painting contractor. He's one of two owners, but he's still very hands-on.
Does a lot of the work himself.
He does. He's doing it less and less, but yeah. So he was actually not even on an official job site. He was actually helping friends of ours with a repaint of their exterior, and so I knew where he was. So I was just here working away, and all of a sudden my phone starts ringing, and it's my brother-in-law, so Jake's brother, Devin. And I thought, well, that's weird. Why is Devin calling me at 1:22? I won't forget that.
I like that you know the time.
Oh, I know the time. Yeah.
It's imprinted.
Yeah. 1:22 p.m. on Thursday. And he's like, hey, and I can hear like panic in his voice. And he's like, Jake just fell off the roof.
Oof.
He's really badly hurt. You got to come pick him up. And I was like, wait, we're not calling the ambulance? Like, wait, no, we don't want to do that because truthfully, I was like,
you don't want to spend 10 grand.
I don't.
No.
That was my initial thing. It was like, well, if you're not saying we need to call the ambulance, like, let me come down there and get him. And my mom happened to have my car. So I call her in a panic. I'm like, where the hell are you? I'm like, I need you home right now. And she had actually just been leaving. Not even kidding you. She was like literally across the street at Viola's getting Hatch Green chilies because it's Hatch Green chili season here.
Yeah. Chilies.
And she was on her way back to the house. And
so she's like around the corner. Basically.
Yeah, she was right down the road. I was like, I need you to come home. Jake fell off a roof. I got to go get him. So, I go, she gets back here and I basically drag her out of the car, like get in the front seat.
Get out.
Woman, move.
And carjacking in your own driveway.
It was kind of like that. And I promise I didn't push around too much because we don't need another person in the hospital. So she's 83, a very capable 83-year-old, but
yeah, but still 83.
Yeah. I mean, I let her drive my baby. So
yeah, she drives a 4Runner.
Drives my 4Runner.
Does all right.
She does. So I was like, lady, get out of the car. Got in the car, drove down to Justin and Josh's house. So these are like my husband's like friends from growing up.
From forever,
like they have literally known each other since they were like
basically brothers.
8. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So so I pull up and Devin's like kind of directing me where to park, and I pull up and I see Jake sitting there in a chair, and I'm like, this can't be that bad. He just fell off a roof. I had like no other detail at that point. And he's just got this look on his face. He is like white. He is like he's looking at me like, oh my God, 100% in shock. The adrenaline, the whole thing. I guess the neighbor had heard him fall.
Oh boy.
So the story of it is that they were on the back of the house on a roof that was about 12 to 14 feet high, and they were pulling masking. So that's like, around like the windows and
stuff. They were just finishing the job.
Yeah. And Jake was like, I wasn't even supposed to be up there, but Devin needed help. But there was like a sign that was attached to the house, like some kind of metal sign, and he didn't want it to fall. And so he'd asked Jake to come up and help him, so they had gotten up there. But it was a short roof, but the masking went all the way to the end of the house. But the roof kind of ended, and then there was like another 5 or 6 feet to the end of the house, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like a dormer roof with the wall sticking out the
Yeah.
side.
So Jake's pulling masking off, takes a step, and he's like,
He literally just walked off the edge of the
I
roof.
just walked off this roof. And he had the wherewithal because, he's a painting
I'm sorry to
contractor.
laugh, but it sounds like a cartoon. You know what I mean?
That's how he described it. He
Yeah.
was like, I was like the cartoon where you just take a step and you're just like,
It's like Wile E. Coyote runs off
yeah,
the edge of the cliff and stands
exactly.
there for a second, like, uh
Yeah,
oh, and then
we're
falls.
falling anvil and,
Yeah.
all those things.
Hold up a little sign that says, yikes.
Yikes. Yeah. But he like had the wherewithal actually to, I don't know, like conscientiously like turn his body.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know is that
Actually landed on his feet.
he landed on his feet. He said he landed on both. I was like, there's no way because
Well, one of them took the impact.
it was the left, right.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it wasn't his right. And I didn't know at the time that he had fallen on concrete.
Oh, geez.
Concrete. Like,
I hadn't even considered that. Concrete?
that's very different than falling on grass.
Yeah, that's way different.
I didn't know that until like
I figured he landed on the ground,
much later on.
like actual ground.
So anyway, this guy who actually I guess used to be an EMT, the neighbor, him and my brother-in-law Devin, like, both two guys carrying him, he just hopped on his right foot. So I was like, well, you definitely didn't damage your right foot, right?
Right.
And so they had him in this chair. I pull up and I'm like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
I guess we're doing this. And so they get him into the car. He couldn't put his foot down, so he literally had to hold his hands under his leg the entire way. And so I drive him up to the hospital. So that took about, I don't know, a good 15 minutes, maybe more, 20 minutes, because
Okay.
we were in Pinedale.
Okay.
And but every bump, every crack in the road,
Yeah.
like,
Every little vibration's gonna hurt.
yeah. And in hindsight, I still can't believe I drove him
Yeah. It's
based
pretty
on
wild, actually.
the amount of damage that he and they took his shoe off too.
Do you want to get into it now? I mean, so we get him to the hospital.
So
Do you
that's
want to get
the
into
story.
what the actual damage is to his leg now?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So anyway, we get to the hospital. I call ahead. I said, Todd, his business partner, I'm like, make sure there's somebody out there with the wheelchair. They were super, super great. They got us through Flagstaff Medical Center, which is part of Northern Arizona Healthcare. That's our main hospital here, our only hospital.
The only
And
real hospital in all of northern Arizona.
yeah, really. And so
It's a big area.
a very big area. Yeah. So yeah, when we talk about like rural health
Yeah, this
and
is
like
as rural as it gets.
access issues, like people come from like hours away to go to FMC, like off the res.
Literally, like 3 hour drive
Yeah.
to get to the hospital.
Fortunately, we were only 20 minutes away.
That's why you live
So
in Flagstaff specifically, right?
yeah, exactly. So anyway, not to, belabor the story, but we get in there, they're treating him. We finally get to the back to the triage. And like they're like, okay, your leg is broken, your ankle, we don't know, your foot, we don't know at this point. And so then they bring up this machine. It's actually a mobile X-ray machine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So like they actually bring it in and they X-rayed him. And I actually got to walk up to the machine, like right in the doorway of his little triage room. And they're like, see that? I saw his X-ray like immediately. And I was like, I'm
That's
no
cool.
doctor.
So you didn't even got to wait for him to print it out or anything.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
I was like, yikes. So the ortho,
I've seen the x-ray. His bone is shattered.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like his lower shin bone is just in pieces.
So the ortho doc is like, here's what's going on. So what they call it is a pylon break. So just imagine essentially walking, jumping, falling off of a roof, 12 to 14 feet high onto concrete, and you land all of in your left
Just
leg. What's going to
all
happen?
Your left foot. Yeah.
Right? Like
Action.
totally. So they call it a pylon break. So it's like if you look at like a tree trunk, right? So you've got like a nice solid tree trunk, and let's say you like hack something into the side of it and it splits it. That's what it did.
Yeah.
And so then the impact of that completely shattered his ankle. So when I looked at the x-ray, I could see like the bits of fragments, like, and like I said, I'm no doctor. I don't know how to read x-rays, but it was very clear.
Yeah.
And then they weren't sure at the time, like if his foot was broken or anything, because it just wouldn't show up in the x-rays. So they bring him in to go, they have to reset the bone. So they send me out at that point. I'm out sitting in the waiting room. They finally come get me 45 minutes later, and they used ketamine.
Yeah.
And he was terrified, terrified. He's never had anything major like this. He's broken a leg. It was like a tibia, a fine break. It was nothing major.
Right.
He's broken his hand. Yeah, this is like huge.
This is shattered.
I mean,
he's shattered.
Foot, his ankle are basically just like dinged.
His ankle was, I looked at his x-ray. and the ankle part just looked like a cloud.
Uh-huh.
Like it was fuzzy. Like it's just
Yeah.
there's no distinct shape of anything. It's just
No.
gone.
No. Yep. So they had to reset his leg. They had to do it twice.
Oh, they did it twice?
Yeah. Yeah. And Jake was all sorts of messed up
Uh,
on the ketamine. Like
he told me about that, but he's going to come on the podcast at some point and
he
talk about it. But
is.
he had a wild time on the
He,
ketamine.
he did. And he entertained the entire ER staff.
Yeah.
So much so that like over the days that we were there, every time I was walking around, like the security guys, there's two security guys down there because there's a another man in one of the other eye triage, one of the other triage rooms, right, basically right across the hall, and he was very aggressive.
Yeah.
I didn't know exactly what was going on, so they had the security there. So these guys kind of got to see the whole thing happen. Oh, Jake had them rolling because you know Jake, he's funny.
Yeah.
Jake's like he's sarcastic. He just stuff comes out. He has no filter. Anyway, and he was on ketamine, so he was
Yeah.
high as
I
a
wish I could
date.
have seen that, honestly.
Oh yeah, they were cracking up when they finally brought me back. They're like, "Yeah, he's your husband. He's something else." And yeah, every time I saw the security guys over the stay, they were like, "Hey, how's your husband doing?" So like everyone got to know us. But yeah, so they're like, "Yeah, here's what's going on. Like it's messed up." So and the pain was unbelievable. The amount of pain that he was in. My husband is tough.
Yeah.
Like he is tough, tough.
Yeah, a certain amount of pain will break anybody, though.
Yeah, it's definitely broken.
Yeah.
Is that was really hard for me because I'm like, holy crap, like I've never seen him like this before. And so basically they're like, here's what's gonna happen now. You're gonna go get admitted. He's going to have surgery on his leg and his ankle, and we'll see once we, they did a CAT scan too. They actually rolled him away for that. And then brought him back to make sure like nothing else was damaged in his body, right? Because
Right.
an impact like
Yeah. Who
that,
knows when
you
you
have no
fell
idea.
like that? Yeah.
By some freaking miracle.
And thank God he didn't land on his head.
He
You know,
probably
if he
should
landed
have
on his back or his
broke,
head.
broke his back or his neck or his head or been paralyzed or dead. I mean, he fell on
Yeah.
concrete 12 to 14 feet up. He is not 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's
12 feet
47,
fall of
48.
concrete. You can die pretty easy.
Yeah. So
Like he landed
miracle.
well. He landed well, all things considered.
Yeah. So anyway, they're like, he's got to have surgery either tonight or it will be tomorrow. And then there will be a second surgery. We will not know the extent of the damage until we get in there during the surgery to see if anything else is wrong. And so anyway, he gets admitted, horrible night, pain, the whole thing. That's really all it is at that point is, um, keeping him stable enough, with because he hadn't had the surgery yet. He just had it kind of like a soft cast, essentially. And so then he goes in, on Friday morning. They get him in at 11 and he goes in for the surgery. So this is where they put on what's called like a halo cast. It's like all like, it's kind of like an exterior structure.
It's drilled into him.
And then there's all these pins that like go into your leg, your foot,
Yeah.
all the things. So
It's like a triangle,
yeah,
and the base, it's like on either side of the ankle, and then it comes up to a point like in the middle of his shin,
right.
and it looks like a frame that
Yeah.
they put. It's basically an A-frame
Yeah.
that they put on to stabilize it.
It basically is holding all of the major bones in place.
Right.
Because what they have to do a second surgery because there's so much swelling. All these, well, the other part too is that he got these things called fracture blisters. So it's not a compound fracture where the bone breaks through the skin, but it's kind of like a step down, I guess, where like
There's shards digging into the flesh.
yeah, so it can create blisters. So the blisters have to be healed. It's like a whole
I hate
thing.
that I just had to say that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but I didn't know what a fracture blister was until Friday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so he went in, did the surgery. It took about an hour. He came out post surgery, just awful. His recovery was so, so bad. And what blew me away was that the orthopedic surgeon who did the surgery was like, "Oh, he, might be able to go home later today." And I'm like, "What? Okay, I don't know who you are, but like, have you what
Yeah.
this
That
is
doesn't
major
seem-
surgery?" And I thought, "There's no way. Maybe
No way.
maybe Saturday."
No way.
And then I'm like, after how Friday went, I was like, "No, no, no,
Yeah.
no,
So he
no."
fell on Thursday, or he fell on Friday. He
Thursday.
fell on Thursday.
Had the surgery at 11 o'clock on Friday. He was not
Okay.
out of recovery until probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He was writhing in pain.
Oh, I'm
He's got
sure.
this whole big, robot thing on his leg.
Oh, he's all wrapped up and
Yeah.
framed out, and
Yeah. And then I want to talk about that cool cooling thing that he has on
yeah,
it
that'd
too.
be
So
sweet.
we're gonna include some photos. But yeah, they have it. It's like brand new. Even the nurses had never seen it before. It's like this box that sits on the ground and you fill it with water and ice, and it's got these rubber hose that goes into the cast
Yeah,
and it blows cold air in. So it goes like under his leg and his heel and his foot.
yeah.
So cool.
It's like a swamp cooler that blows straight into his cast
Yes.
to cool the leg and bring down
Yeah.
the inflammation. And he
He,
said it's doing a crazy amount of good for his pain.
he can feel it. Like he can feel when
Yeah.
it's cool and not cool. Yeah. So anyway, they put that thing on him.
And that's brand new. You said the nurses at the hospital hadn't even seen one of those things
No,
before.
they hadn't.
That's like a brand new thing.
Right. So yeah, we got into the room quickly. They took great care of him. I mean, the medical staff, I mean, literally from like the security guys who are like now my new buddies,
Yeah.
like everybody we encountered has been just amazing. With the exception of I think when the ortho doc suggested that he
He
could
was
go
leaving. He'll
home.
go
I
home in a
was like,
couple hours.
see, but honestly, so we'll get into why I think think he said that and why we got pressure almost nearly every day
Right.
to go home. That was the only
Well, the
downside, but
administration never wants to let you stay, right?
yeah, they definitely wanted that bad.
Yeah.
And I think they were just being optimistic too. Like as the doctor,
They're
like
like, oh, it's just a broken leg.
they don't want to be like super negative either. So I think it's also kind of like coming from a place of optimism for
Yeah.
them. But I'm like, yeah, let's just also be
Well,
realistic.
because it's an administrator looks at it and says, "Oh, it's just a broken leg. How long could he possibly have to stay?"
Right.
But they're not looking at the fact that his leg is broken into like 80 different pieces.
Yeah. It's,
You know,
it's not good.
it's not your typical broken leg.
Yeah. So anyway, he has the surgery, goes back, it doesn't recover well. He's, finally Saturday, he's starting to like show some signs of having things under control. And I wouldn't even say that he did, quite honestly. And when I say under control, I mean like the pain. So, and then of course, they come in and they talk to us and they're like, hey, all right, um, he's going to have the second surgery. You have to come into the clinic, in between so we can check swelling, so we can check all this stuff. So far at this point, it's just kind of like, holy crap, this is really overwhelming. How am I going to support him at home?
Yeah.
All those things, like, really didn't, other than that, I was like, everything else was going smoothly. The care that he received was wonderful. And also, too, I want to mention a lot of the nurses were traveling nurses, and I feel like sometimes traveling nurses get a bad rap.
We get that a lot in flag staff.
And I was like, they were amazing.
Oh yeah.
I Jake was like just loved them. And so anyway, to all the traveling nurses out there, anyone
Keep on trucking.
if anybody talks bad about you,
You send them to me.
that's right. I got your back. Um, Not all of them were, but there was a few.
We get a lot of traveling nurses in this town.
It was great though. And they loved Jake. Jake was just they were like once he was finally like conscious and not
When a,
totally doped up,
yeah,
he
when
was
a patient in a hospital actually maintains their sense of humor, I feel like that does a lot of good for everybody involved.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we actually, a couple of the nurses were like, "Oh, it's been so nice having you here because we can't always have this much fun with our
Yeah.
patients." And so they're like, "We're really gonna miss you." So that was really nice. But yeah, so finally, he got his pain under control, and I was like, "All right, I think we'll be ready to go home Sunday." And then it was like, not quite, not quite. We're not quite there yet. I was feeling a little bit of pressure. Like, you ready to go yet? You ready to go? I'm like, nope, not quite.
Yeah.
And and then I think, yeah, then we're like, no, Monday. Let's do it Monday. Monday will be great. It's Labor Day. Put all the orders in for all the pain meds because so much of this is about pain
Yeah.
management. That is probably the number one thing at this point. Meanwhile, Jake's already got in his head that he's going to become some oxy addict and I'm going to find him in a ditch somewhere and like he's going to be on a documentary. And
That's only if you keep doing them later.
yeah, actually, so I have to answer this call because it's somebody calling
Oh, there you
from.
go.
Yeah, can we pause for
Yeah.
just a sec?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So where were we? You were
Okay.
saying we're
So
on the drugs.
so I I literally just had to accept a call about one of the pain pills that he needs, which is OxyContin, and we all know
which is a crazy name in medicine these days.
It's a serious, serious narcotic. It's a huge part of his pain management protocol that he has been on in the hospital. So I'll talk about what that phone call was about here in just a second. So where was I? I was
We were literally talking about the last thing you said was he's worried he's going to turn into an oxy head kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
So
So
it leads in very well.
it does, it does. And so anyway, we finally were like, okay, we're gonna go home. We're gonna go home on Monday. Totally ready to go. Had all the things in place because I got a wheelchair. I was getting a walker and crutches and a shower chair and all of these things that were actually being given to me by friends so that I didn't have to go out and
Oh,
get
there
them,
you go.
rent them, buy them, all the, incur more cost.
You got to call the cerebral palsy people, like Tanya told
I
me,
actually thought about that, but um for a ramp.
for a ramp for your stairs outside.
Except
Yeah.
that he's a painting contractor, so of course he has like general contractor friends that
Oh,
were like, "We'll
sure.
build you a ramp, no
Oh, yeah,
worries." So
sure.
that's
They already got stuff to put in a ramp.
yeah, and they're like, "Oh," and yeah, exactly. They're all excited about it. So we'll let them handle
There you go.
that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Plus, the closest UCP for us is Phoenix, and I'm not driving to Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah, not if I have somebody here that will build it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were all set. We were like, we're gonna go home Monday morning. It's Labor Day. How ironic. And all the scripts were sent into Walgreens the day before because we've been going to Walgreens for like ever. And I go and I'm checking. Okay, cool. We're gonna go pick them up. Literally, the guy that checks you out of the hospital was standing outside of our door, and our nurse comes in, and we're looking at things. I'm like, oh, well, it looks like my insurance is denying the extended release oxy. I'm like, that's not good. I need that. We need that. So
Yeah.
then I'm like, well, let me call the pharmacy. Well, of course, we're closed.
Because
All
it's
the
Labor Day.
because it's like all the Walgreens were closed.
Uh,
So I was like, crap. I'm like, they're not open on the holiday. I'm like, well, I can't pick up the pain meds. And they're like, you can't go home without these.
and the issue here is that the hospital does not have a pharmacy.
As it turns out, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
That's
Like, why
like,
doesn't the hospital have a pharmacy?
yeah, I don't
To me,
understand.
that's nonsense. Like, that doesn't even make sense that they wouldn't have a dispensing agent for the drugs there
For like, go home, like
for
after.
going home with.
But evidently they couldn't, they never offered it. But then I never even thought to ask because I was like, no, why would I get it from the hospital? I'd get it from my pharmacy. And by the way, I've worked in healthcare for 20 some odd years. Like, people come to me for advice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Heather's the resident expert. I was a complete mess for days. So when you go through like a traumatic situation, everything goes out the window.
Yeah.
All that expertise, all that knowledge that I had I was just like zip, nothing.
It's worth about nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now, of course, when I was starting to get my bearings, then I was like, okay, I can navigate now. Right. But it like took me a minute. And quite honestly, you know who it was who got me? Heather Herrick, I'm sorry, Heather Sky. Sorry, that was her maiden name. She did the menopause roundtable with
Oh,
us.
yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
He
So
had like 9 kids, that one.
yes. And she's texting me and she was like, make sure you do this and make sure you do this and be a patient advocate and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy crap, Heather. I'm like, you're getting me out of my funk and my cloud. I'm like, I needed you to tell me this. She was like, be an advocate.
Nice.
She's ghostwriting a book on patient advocacy.
Oh, there
So
you go.
she's like throwing all this stuff at me like on Saturday. And I was like, all right, Heather, get your head out of your ass here for a minute. You got to like start dealing with this.
Right.
So even the smartest and most equipped like completely fail in traumatic situations. And I 100% that was me all day long. Finally started getting myself together though. So fast forward back there to Monday, Walgreens is closed. And I'm like, they're like, you cannot leave and not have these meds.
He needs his meds. Yeah.
And it just never dawned on me that I was like, well, why can't you
Because of
give me
those
like a
meds.
day or two? Yeah.
He's going to be in so much pain with those meds
So
where
I'm like, no problem. Let's find another pharmacy. Nurse was like, cool. We're gonna send it to Walmart. All right, excellent. Send it to that Walmart. I'm like, cool. So we're sitting there waiting. She comes back in. She's like, yeah, so apparently we can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean? You want us out of here? You've been trying to get us out of here for 2 days.
days.
I'm trying to leave. And as it turns out, because Walgreens can't cancel the order on their end, The insurance company's hands are tied. They can, or they won't.
Oh, because they already put the order in at Walgreens,
Yes. So whatever their policy is that Walgreens has to cancel it so that it can go back to the insurance company.
but Walgreens is closed.
Correct. And
Yeah.
so that they could then basically approve it to go to Walmart.
So they
So,
can't just cancel their own order that they made?
which is
That's crazy too.
insane. I'm like, guys, Labor Day and holidays aren't new. And, you know,
Yeah, like this is must have happened many times before.
like this seems like a really easy thing to figure
It
out.
really feels like they do it on purpose sometimes. It
No,
really,
but I was like, really, guys? And I'm like, well, I'm like, this is on your dime at this point. They're not letting us go. You're paying for the other night, the extra night of the hospital at this point. Cause I already hit my max out of pocket on my plan.
right.
Cause trust me, I knew that. I was like, I don't even have to know what the bill is. I just know that I've already
Oh
maxed it
yeah.
out.
He's in the hospital for like 5 days.
So I'm like, sorry, insurance plan. This is on your bill now. This is your dime. I'm like, but we could have avoided this.
Yeah.
And it's of course me. I'm like thinking, I'm like, all the ways that healthcare is so expensive is because these these
Because it's not done.
seemingly tiny little things equate to a lot of money spent that didn't need to
He
happen.
he was in the hospital for like 2 or 3 extra days, probably. Right? Or
Just one,
one extra day.
only one extra day. So just because Walgreens was
But
closed
just because of that.
on a holiday,
Wow.
I'm like, come on, let's
Yeah.
get this figured out. So anyway, that was like, wow. And so of course, and then the hospital really wanted his bed. They want him to get out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying. We don't want to be here either. So then I'm like, okay, cool. So I left last night and then I'm like, I'm going to come back tomorrow in the morning. I've got some calls I need to do because I was, I've been out of work for a couple days just very unexpectedly. And Jake calls me. It's like at 9. And he's like, Heather, you got to come here and get me right now. They're kicking me out. He's like, they're like, get dressed, get your shit together, and you need to go. They're like, hospital administration is coming down on us to get you out of here. And I was like, crap.
But he still doesn't have his drugs.
Right. And
And he literally can't be discharged until he
they're
has
like,
his prescription.
did you get the prescription? I go, yes, it's there. It's at Walgreens. I'm going. And so I went and picked him up on the way, got him out. Of course, I get there. I'm like, let's get you. Let's go. And of course, then it takes a while, right? Because
Right.
they've got protocols and stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, get home. I start looking through all the meds. And I'm like, oh, the oxy's not here. The extended release. I go, they didn't fill it.
Oh.
And I'm like, shit.
Oh, that's what this phone call just was.
Yeah. So then I'm like, well, he has to have that. So I get him all settled. I get on the phone with Walgreens. I'm like, why didn't you guys fill this? And they're like, oh, it's because um, your insurance company, it's not on their formulary. It's not approved on the formulary. So they won't pay for it. I go, so you just don't fill it? You don't tell me? I'm like, what the hell? I didn't realize this until I got home.
Yeah.
What if I lived hours away?
Yeah. What if you were 3 hours away, like all those other people we were talking
I was just like, would have been great if you had actually shared that with me when I was standing there right in your pharmacy, right? So then that just annoyed me. And they're like, yeah, well, we can fill it. I'm like, well, how much is it going to be? And they're like, $213.
Oof.
You can get a coupon. I'm like, oh, like a good RX sort of thing. I said, okay, fine. I said, listen, I need to have it one way or another. I'm like, just fill it, and I'll use a coupon. I'll figure it out, right? Like at least I have the means
Yeah.
to pay for it.
Right.
But I also wanted my insurance to cover it. So then I go and call the insurance. I'm like, hey, here's the situation. They didn't fill it. They're saying it's not on the formulary. The lady I spoke to at my insurance company, very pleasant, wonderful, did her best. But she ends up giving me some other reason that like the NSD number is no longer like, which is every drug is assigned an NSD number. I don't know what
Okay.
that stands for, but and they're like, they don't make it anymore. And I'm like, how do they not make it anymore? Because the pharmacy just told me they're going to fill it if I pay
They don't
cash.
make it anymore?
It's no longer manufactured. And I was like, what?
What?
This doesn't make sense. And she was confused and she's like, yeah, they don't make it. So you need to go back to your prescribing doctor and tell them that they need to prescribe something that is still manufactured. I was like, he's just taking this in the hospital. I'm like, how is this even a thing? I'm so confused at this point. So I'm like, so I call the medical assistant for the orthopedic doctor who's going to be treating Jake on like a go forward basis.
Uh-huh.
We'd actually had met her. She had come and introduced herself. And so I kind of just looked up all the numbers and found my way to her voicemail. And that's who called me back.
Ah,
And I said, I kind of let her know. I go, here's what the situation is. I'm like, they're telling me it's not on the formulary. Okay, fine, if that's the case. Um, but then I'm hearing from the actual pharmacy company, my insurance, that they no longer manufacture that particular oxycodone 10 milligram extended release. And I'm like, okay, first of all, BS, because he's been getting it in the hospital.
yeah,
And
but
I just filled the order with Walgreens by paying cash.
yeah,
So I don't know why I got that story. So then I finally got just here with Destiny, who's from NAO Ortho, whatever it's called, Northern Arizona Healthcare Orthopedics. And she basically said, clarified it. She goes, I called the pharmacist at Walgreens and talked to him myself. They said, your insurance company doesn't cover it. It's not on their formulary. They're not going, they won't
they're
cover it.
not gonna do it. Yeah.
So, but the prescription is here
Is there an alternative medicine to it?
potentially. But the orthopedic surgeon was pretty adamant about the fact
It
that
needs to
this
be
was
this.
the right pain management protocol for him. And he's got everything under control with this. We don't want to switch something up at home.
Right.
If we were going to switch it, we should have done it when we were at the hospital in
So
case
they
like
can
something.
track it. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I will get my GoodRx coupon and hopefully maybe only pay $100, you know. Um, but do you see where all of these failures have happened?
Yeah. It's
and
ridiculous.
and some of the pressure that we got, and I understand, and by the way, like I don't want to talk badly about our hospital system. They were amazing, the entire experience, from
Sure.
the second we walked into the ER until the
It,
second Jake got in my friend's car to go home.
it was only once the administration took notice that things started getting hectic.
Get him home, get him
Everything
out of
was
here.
fine until the administrators got involved.
Yeah, and I think I could tell that, like, it's almost like the doctor gets pressured
Oh yeah.
and then
Oh
he has to
yeah.
deliver it, and it's like, I get it, like, you don't want to do this,
Right.
like, you just want a doctor.
Yeah.
Let doctors doctor.
Yeah.
But I could tell, like, I knew because I worked in the industry long enough. I was like, I get it. So,
But so we should start wrapping this up. We're getting a little long.
mhm.
We're pretty much up to date. So he came home this
He's
morning.
home. He's sitting downstairs
Wait, this is now Tuesday, and
Tuesday.
he came home this morning.
That is correct.
Uh, how was the move, and what's the next step? Let's
Everything,
finish with that.
everything went great. Smooth getting him home. We've got all of the things set up for him that he needs to be comfortable, to for mobility. Because wow, when somebody breaks their leg and it has that so immobile, you start looking at things very, very differently.
Right.
Like my perspective immediately changed. Um, and a lot of overwhelm, a lot of stress for the first few days, and then I was like, okay, I got this, right? Like
Hmm.
we can handle this. Um, so yeah, he's here, and then it's just staying on top of those meds and making sure that he is pain free as possible. That's kind of our goal right now, and till the
He
next
has
surgery.
right. He has another surgery in like a couple weeks or so once it heals up enough.
Yeah, so probably about 2 weeks from now, roughly, give or take, he'll have a second surgery. That'll be a much bigger surgery, 3 hours, something like that. He gets casted. He'll be casted for approximately 3 months. So he really
Wow,
won't.
3 months.
Yeah, it could be shorter depending on how he
Okay.
heals. A lot of PT, things like
But
that.
he'll gain
So
more mobility as it goes and whatnot. It's
just
a
getting around.
process.
Yep. So, but getting to that second surgery and then going through the recovery from that, which essentially we're gonna have to go through this again
Right.
in like 2 weeks,
Right.
which that really sucks. But that's kind of where things are at. So I think
Okay.
the next time you and I meet, we'll be a little further down the road
We'll
of,
do another one after the next surgery, and then at some point we got to get him on here as well to talk about it directly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I might bring him on for the next one.
Oh, there you go. Maybe after the next surgery we can.
Yeah,
I'll interview you both
yeah.
at the same time.
And then we'll do
It'll
another
be like a
one.
round table
Yeah. And then we'll do another one further down the road.
after his recovery when he's
Uh-huh.
yeah when he gets the cast off and all
Yeah.
that sort.
All those things. And I'm sure I'll have great things
It'll
to
keep you
share.
all in pace with us as this personal journey
Yeah,
unfolds here at the healthcare uprising because this is a very in-house healthcare situation
it
for us.
really is. Yeah.
And a lot that thing that cool air thing going into his cast is probably the coolest thing I've seen out of this whole thing.
Yeah, even the nurses hadn't seen it before. The ortho doc was just like, we haven't really used this on anybody yet.
Yeah.
So he was like, you're one of the first.
And Jake was like, it helps so much.
I know, it's
Like he said, it's
genius.
helped so much with the pain.
It's genius. Yeah, it's called shoot, I can't remember
The
it.
Iceman.
The Iceman. Yeah, called Iceman.
It's just this little box. I'll see if I can get a picture into the
Yeah, and you fill it with half ice and then
Notes.
water, and then it just pumps cool air straight into the cast.
It's just a little
crazy.
swamp cooler with a hose going
Yeah, it's
into
pretty
his
cool.
leg. It's wild.
Yeah.
But
So that's
okay.
right.
All right, we'll wrap it up for now. Saga to continue in the future. But thanks for joining us on this episode of the Healthcare Uprising, and we'll catch you next time. This has been a Shut Up production.
Shut up!